Go on in. What? Oh, yeah. This isn't safe for COVID-19.
My name's Jason. I'm an actor and a comedian, which means I've worked in the restaurant business for over 20 years to be exact. From fine dining to coffee shops. Man, I've done it all. And through the years, I've learned a lot of cool culinary tips and tricks. And I've also come to realize two very important things. Nothing beats home-cooked meals and family recipes. And the only thing I love more than eating good food is making it. Just remember, I'm not a chef. I just play one on TV. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Not a Chef. In today's episode, we are going to make beer bread and goulash. Ooh. We were gonna make the goulash for a Halloween episode, but we figured things are so scary right now, it would make sense just to do it. We're gonna make the beer bread first, because by the time it's done in the oven, the goulash will probably be ready, and we'll just eat it all up. Fun fact about the beer bread, I've never made it before. So, we'll see how it goes. Let's get started. We have 3 cups of all-purpose flour, baking powder, and salt, 5 tablespoons of sugar, some butter to drizzle on the top, and a can of warm beer. Now I got my recipe out here because like I said, I've never made this before. And in this bowl, I have 3 cups of unbleached all-purpose flour. Now the recipe calls for 3 cups of self-rising flour, but I don't have it. But what I do have is the internet. And so I looked up on the internet how I could make self-rising flour, and it's pretty simple. For each cup of flour, what you do is you add 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So that's what I've done here. I have 4.5 teaspoons of baking powder and 3/4 teaspoons of salt. There's a lot of math coming at you at once right there, but trust me, that's what's up. The internet, it's a beautiful thing. So are calculators, but they don't help too much with fractions. God, fractions. Fractions. All right, let's go ahead and add it to this. What do you say, guys? So here's my baking powder, right there. Here's my salt. Here's my whisk. Let's give it a whisk. All right. There's my flour ready. Now I need to add 5 tablespoons of sugar. 5 tablespoons of sugar going in. All right, 5 tablespoons of sugar. We'll whisk it up again. Okay. Now I got this butter here because I'm gonna melt a little bit of it to pour on top, and I've also already greased my pan. But before any of that stuff happens, we need the next very important ingredient for this beer bread, and that's beer. Now it calls for 1 can of room temperature beer, but I'm gonna tell you that what you really need is 2 cans of beer, one that's from the fridge, so you can drink it while you make the bread. Cheers. All right, let's keep going. Nothing like a warm beer. All right, I'm gonna pour it in. Only the finest for this beer bread. Oh, can you hear that? Effervescent. Now I need to mix this up. I'm gonna get a fork. I know where those are. All right, use my fork. Let's go ahead and mix it all up. All right, looks like batter. Take a little elbow grease, guys. Smells good. Hey, look at that dough. This would be a perfect opportunity to use an electric mixer if you wanted, but I haven't got my workout today, so I'm gonna go ahead and use the old arm muscles. And you know what? This dough came together really nice. Look at that. That's some good looking dough, for real. So now the deal is we're just gonna get this into this greased pan. I got my spatula out. You know how I like that. This will be the quickest bread I've ever made. Look at that, beer bread. Let's see how it turns out. I've never made this before. Okay. So this bread is gonna go into a 375 degree oven for 40 minutes. At 40 minutes, I'm gonna pull it out, pour 2 tablespoons of melted butter on top, and put it back in for 10 more minutes. That butter is gonna give it a nice golden crust. All right, I'm gonna set my timer for 40 minutes. 40 minutes. All right. All right, everybody, the bread's in the oven, the beer's gone. Time to make the goulash. Now, the cool thing about goulash is it's kind of like the Mr. Potato Head of meals. You can dress it up however you want. At its core, all you need is pasta, diced tomatoes, some sort of ground meat, peas, and cheddar cheese. That's it. Now, of course, I like to be a little extra. And what I also like about it is you can kind of just find what you have in your refrigerator and bring it to the table and say, okay, cool. So in this instance, I've got mushrooms, red pepper, celery, carrots, onion, some asparagus. Got my pasta right here. I've added cheddar, mozzarella, and a little Parmesan. Ooh la la. And I've also got diced tomatoes and a little tomato sauce. Why not? I'm gonna put some frozen vegetables into it, and I'm also gonna use ground turkey instead of ground beef. It's leaner, then it all takes place in one pot, so it's super easy. I got some water boiling on the stove, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my pasta in it now. I'm gonna get these ready and make this bad boy up. The cool thing about this recipe is that it's just like super adaptable. You know, we talked about doing it for Halloween because it's goulash. And if we would've, we might have called it the Frankenstein of recipes. You kind of just put whatever you want into it. But you know, Mr. Potato Head's a little bit more nice. Plus he smokes a pipe. Not anymore, he doesn't smoke a pipe anymore. But what I've got here is basically what I had in my refrigerator. It's great, you can just throw whatever you want into it. This could be a great vegetarian recipe. I got nothing against that. So I'm just rough chopping my vegetables, nothing too fancy. There's a lot of good textures in it too. It's not just about the flavor, it's about the textures, the crunch that you can get from certain things. So my carrots, I want to cut them kind of thin, not too thin. Watch those fingertips, boys and girls. Celery, cut it down the middle like that. I call them celery ribs because they look like ribs, I think. Before you cut the little tips off, they look like Gumby. Or one of those like things they have at a used car lot, the things that are waving, like people do. They look like they're dancing at a Dead concert. Mushrooms. You know, the cool thing about a mushroom too is you can't really overcook it. It's amazing. Some things you can overcook, they get like real mealy, not mushrooms. And mushrooms are a great addition if you're making a vegetarian goulash, because you can get different kinds of mushrooms. I got a buddy of mine that grows mushrooms, the legal kind, the North Coast Robot Farm. Check him out. He may or may not be eating mushrooms right now. Asparagus. All right, last but not least, let's put some onion in it. Okay, all of our vegetables are chopped up. Look at this, it's basically a veggie goulash. We are gonna add the turkey, it's gonna be delicious. The pasta's probably about done, let's check it. The beer bread's got 1 minute and 40 seconds till it comes out of the oven. Let's put this whole thing together, what do you say? All right, time to put the butter on the bread. I'm gonna move the pot, I'm gonna get it out. Ooh, look at that. Oh man, I'm gonna burn myself. No, I'm not. Quick! Ooh, look! It's beautiful! All right, I got some butter right here that I melted, 2 tablespoons of butter. Pouring it on the top. Listen to it, listen. Listen to the butter. That's gonna make it look real nice, give it a good glaze once we get it out of the oven. Now that's a sexy bread shot. All right, going back in, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, here we go. Now we're gonna get this pasta right off of the stove. This pasta's ready to rock. Jeez, there's so much crap in this sink. Okay, here we go. All right, ready? Pasta's done. Over here. Let it chill. All right, bread's done. Look at that, smells awesome. I'm gonna get it over here on this wire rack before I burn my hand. That bread smells killer. All right, let's make the goulash. Start my pot. I'm putting it at a medium-high heat to between an 8 and a 7. That's medium-high. Now I'm gonna add some olive oil to it. I'm gonna grab a wooden spoon. Why a wooden spoon? Because when the pot's hot and I'm stirring it around, a plastic spoon would probably bend a little bit. Now let's start putting our ingredients into the pot. There they are, guys, the dogs. All right, onions are going in, and the mushrooms, and the celery. I got carrots going in there too right now. Okay, so I'm gonna stir it up a little bit, get it cooking. All you gotta do is throw an onion in a hot pan with some oil. The whole house starts to smell good. Now I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of salt right now, just to kind of season it. I like to season things at different times throughout the cooking process. Got some salt in this cute little jar. Just a little, not too much. And I'm also gonna hit it with a little bit of pepper right now. Pepper, key. That's what a freak I am. I grind my own pepper in a mortar and pestle. Fresh, as fresh can be. A pinch, maybe one more pinch. All right, we'll just leave that here in case we want to add more along the way. I'm gonna add to this some garlic powder, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that out. I don't know if I have enough. Okay, so in the pot, you can see it's reduced pretty nicely. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is the perfect time to add our ground turkey. Now, the reason I'm using ground turkey is because it's lean. If you use ground beef, you want to cook the beef first and then pour it out and drain the fat off. But I can put the turkey right into this, and that way it's really one pot. Nothing has to come out. It all stays right in there. It all gets to know each other. Delicious. All right, so I just put a pound of ground turkey in. 1 whole pound. I'm gonna stir it around, chop it up a little bit. You want it to cook, obviously. No one wants to eat raw meat. Now's when I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more salt and pepper and some of my garlic. Just a little bit. Pinch pepper, 2 pinches of pepper, 3 pinches of pepper. And now a little bit of garlic. Garlic can't hurt. Keeps the vampires away. Remember, we're making goulash. It'd be perfect for Halloween. No vampires, it's safe, everybody's hanging out, having a good time. So remember I talked about textures. The carrots and the celery are in there cooking down. I'm gonna add the asparagus to it now. And the peppers, why not? Oh, look at that though, guys. Oh. Look how healthy that is right now. I mean, just all the colors from all the different vegetables. This is perfect. Red, green, orange. Okay, now more vegetables. This is where I like to add my frozen vegetables. I'm gonna get some frozen peas, some corn, and some lima beans. I'm crazy. All right, look at that. Holy mackerel. Think we got enough stuff in this pot? Believe it or not, it's almost done. Once I see these frozen vegetables look like they're no longer frozen, and I hear it kind of start to sizzle again, I'm going to add my tomatoes. That's a can of diced tomatoes and a can of tomato sauce. No salt added, no seasoning to them at all. That way I'm the one that's controlling the seasoning. Again, remember, you can do whatever you want with this. That's what's so beautiful about the whole thing. But right now, if you look into this pot, I mean, it is beautiful. All the colors, all the textures, so many vegetables, some lean turkey. Man. All right, listen, you hear it? It's sizzling. That means that all of the vegetables are no longer frozen. I'm gonna add the tomato. Here it is, I got my diced tomatoes and my tomato sauce right in this bowl. Add the whole thing. Tomatoes moving around in the pan. The tomatoes are just in there for flavor. What's really gonna bring this whole dish together is gonna be the cheese once that's melted in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the heat off right now. Pasta goes in. Give it another spin. Starting to look like goulash, guys. There's an obscene amount of goulash. Every time I cook the biggest pot of whatever the heck it is. So again, you don't have to use this much. I mean, if you're just cooking for a couple people at your house, you can pare it down very easily. Here it goes, cheddar cheese, mozzarella cheese, and a little bit of Parmesan. Stir it around. Good cooking show sounds. Oh my God. Oh, I can smell it. Now this is where the wooden spoon's coming in handy. You see all the work it's done in there? And I'm still using my arm muscles, guys. I'm gonna be like a hermit crab when this is done. My right side's getting a workout. All right, look at this. Oh my gosh, you can see the cheese is melted. The vegetables are all together. That's it, it's done. Everything's incorporated. This looks perfect. It smells awesome. Now all we gotta do is eat it, and I can't wait because I'm hungry because I drank that beer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the proof is in the goulash. Look at that. It's beautiful. All the colors, texture, the smell. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Before we dig into this, let's see how the bread turned out. Remember, I've never made this bread before. It looks beautiful. It smells great. Let's cut it and see. Oh man. All right. I like the heel of the bread, don't you? The very butt end. Man, it's great. It took like a little over an hour to make this bread. Who's ever heard of that? I made sourdough before. It takes me all day long. And this is killer. The butter's there. The crunch is there. It's nice and soft on the inside. All right, another bite. I could eat that all day. All right, let's try it with some goulash, huh? Terrible bite. It's still going. Here we go. Granny would be proud. That is awesome. The cheese really brings it all together. It just makes everything come together so nice. There's a little bit of sauce in there. A lot of texture, a lot of great flavor. Everything's coming through. This is fantastic. And with this bread, it's amazing. Man, and what a great way to utilize whatever you have at home. Well, I hope you make this at home, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a chef. I just play one on TV. Let me get more of this. I know I made a lot, but none of you guys can have any. I'm eating it all.